Welcome. It is Wednesday again. Might not be where you are, but it is Wednesday where we are. So it's Wednesday, and this is Jennifer to the Rescue, Jennifer Johnson. And I am just thanking you for joining us today. We're here at the beautiful Wofford Theater, and it's being sponsored by Logan Street Signs and Banners. And if you've never made a trip down here, you need to get in here and see all the good stuff. The wonderful theater that's in there is amazing. But I want to introduce to you today my good friend and a wonderful business referral partner, Barb Kaiser. And you're with, well, actually, I'll let you tell them what you're with. You're Barb Kaiser.
Well, hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I know we've got a lot of things to cover today, so I always kind of take too long to get to my guests and getting their intro and everything else. Can you tell us who Barb Kaiser is?
I can do that.
That would be good.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, I'm a marketing professional in the area. And as you started to state, you and I actually met at a marketing event.
Yes, we did.
We met at the Chocolate Blues, didn't we?
Chocolate Blues,
Which was that the beginning of April? I think it was. I think it was the beginning of April.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
They have them all over. Well, they don't have them all over. They have them on the north, and there's going to be one on the south side, as we were discussing. That. And the Chocolate Blues is pretty cool because it literally is blues and chocolate.
I love
and
that.
Networking. Yeah.
The chocolate's the best part. Absolutely.
Yes,
the chocolate is the best
is.
part.
Definitely is.
So, yes, I'm a marketing professional in the area. And I'm not originally from Indy, though. I'm originally from the Detroit area, born, raised in that area. Have spent my entire career in marketing, the last, over 20 years. We'll leave it at over 20 years, in various industries.
Everybody says that, and I'm like, you're not old enough to have 20 years, but I know you probably are.
I am. I
Okay.
am. What brought me to Indy, though, is I was working in the casino industry. I entered into that industry in Detroit in 1999. I was looking for, a big switch. MGM was moving into the Detroit area with the first casino. So it was an exciting time in that city. And it was an opportunity for some of us folks in various industries that wanted to make a big jump to make a big jump. So I was nosy. I went down to the hiring center. I wanted to see what was going on. I always have to be in the know. And they said that they were hiring folks. And I thought, wow, this would be fun to work, maybe part-time waiting tables or something, just to be around all the excitement and see what goes on and be a part of the action. So I ended up putting in an application and went through the interview process. And I was offered a full-time job. But the catch was I couldn't work in marketing to start in management because I didn't have any casino background. So MGM said, if you want to come, we'd love to have you. We are a promote from within. However, you're going to have to start on the floor just like everybody else. So it was really cool because there were a ton of people in that situation that wanted to make a change, had the opportunity, and said, I will give up my management title to go learn something new and do something fun and exciting.
Yeah, I bet that was fun.
It was. So I waited tables for a year and a half.
Really?
I did. I waited tables for a year and a half.
Wow.
Yes, it was great. But what I did when I waited tables is I made sure that I was the server that the executives would always ask for. I wanted to be their favorite. So then that way I could listen to their conversations at lunch and start learning a little bit about the industry. After about a year and a half, I decided, okay, now it's time to get back into marketing. And I did. I applied for a marketing position and then started working my way up from there. In 2003, I was recruited to go out to Kansas City to work at a casino out there, a large expansion that they were doing, so to do the marketing out there. And then in 2008, I was recruited to come here and open Indiana Live. So that's how we ended up in Indianapolis. After Indiana Live opened, I had to make the decision, do I stay in casinos or I had a young son at that time. Do I put some more time into being a mom? I decided it was more important to be a mom. So I left the casino industry, and I've been working as a marketing professional in the area since. Right now, I represent a few companies, but the major company I represent is Rev Local, which is an internet marketing company.
So you really do have a lot of experience behind you, and somebody who's willing to take obviously, I'm an entertainer. I like to do, I would probably have loved to be in that environment too, just to be around all the excitement and all the, and we didn't really talk about this. When you're talking about marketing, is there a definition that you Is that kind of putting you on the spot for
No,
a definition?
Many people think of marketing in many different regards, and there are many different elements to marketing. It's not just one thing. It's not just sales. It's not just promotions. It's not just advertising. It's the combination and the synergy of everything coming together
Exactly.
to build the awareness about the business, or as people like to use, the brand now. But what I term marketing, the best definition I've heard, and this comes from a gentleman named Jeff McGee, who is a wonderful speaker that I've had the good fortune to listen to a couple of times at various conferences. But Jeff McGee has the best definition. He says marketing is project management. And when you think about it, it truly is, because you have to have all of the different elements working in conjunction, synergistically, in order to have success. So it really is. It's very detailed. There is the creative element. You know, most people just like to sit and think about the creative side of it. You do have to be creative. You have to be visually creative. You have to be creative with your resources. But it really is managing all of those elements to bring a plan and a strategy together, take it out to the audience, to your market, and then get the results, look at the results, and then turn around and move from that point. Do I move forward with the same thing, or do I make changes based on the results I just experienced?
Exactly. That was good, because I didn't even tell you, hey, we're going to talk, I need a but I was thinking, I was just in a meeting yesterday. I mean, I love to be out sharing the good news about good people, good sponsors, good everything, except we have Main Street behind us. That's okay, but we want Jennifer to the rescue behind us. We're not Main Street today. But the big thing, it's not mine. It's just the help here,
It's part of the project management.
It's part of the project management. We'll get that Jennifer to the rescue. Huh?
Keep on talking.
Okay, we're not supposed to be watching, but I'm looking. Anyway, but it's interesting because I just go out, but there really is. Is that the thing that's the 4 Ps or the 5 Ps of
yes.
market? Isn't that kind of all part of the
It is.
the marketing thing? So don't look up there. Anyway, because that's really
There's the product, the pricing, the promotion, the position. I always add the 5th P, which is the people. And I think that in 2014, you have to add that 5th P, because everything right now is truly about relationships. How you and I were just talking about how we were introduced, we happened to meet. We've run into each other probably a million times since we met in April. But it's all about the relationships. And people, the one thing you have to remember in any kind of sales or marketing is that people buy from people. They want that interaction and they want that relationship. So I always add that as the 5th P.
That's a very good one. And I had this, I also do a show on a radio Next, and I always forget to mention it when I'm on this. But you can go to jennifertotherescue.com and it's on there. But the big thing is to understand what your product is, and the people is definitely, because we all like to do business, what do they say, belly to belly or whatever, but there's so many pieces of the puzzle, and you really do need to know. You know, am I getting a good, I mean, people who are in really serious business roles know that they need to know what their numbers are.
Yes.
Me, I'm just floating around having fun, and if it works, that's great. Well, it does tend to work because people, and I'll tell you, the other P, I don't know, Purple Cow. Have you ever heard of the Purple Cow? Okay.
I have not.
Okay, there's a great book out there called The Purple Cow, and it's all about being different. And I think I'm kind of under that. But we don't want to get too far away. We're going to take a short break.
Okay.
And we're going to come back and talk about RevLocal.
Very good.
Hopefully. And we've got some information, some wonderful statistics and things that you've gathered. And, I mean, just so much stuff that you've got to share. So we will be back in just a few minutes. I'm Jennifer to the rescue. And this is Barb Kaiser, and we'll be back shortly.
Save is a cool new way to save big right now at merchants without paying anything up front. By now, you've probably seen daily deal sites and are wondering, how is Paid to Save different? With Paid to Save, you can reserve a deal without buying anything up front. You can redeem your deal right now, and you'll save 50%, 80%, or even 100%. Here's how it works. Simply launch our iPhone or Android app to find a great deal. Lock it in to reserve it just for you. And check in before the deal ends to redeem it and save big. That's it. Just incredible deals right now. And what makes Paid to Save even better is that merchants love it too. Since they can control the amount, the number available, and timing of the deals, they are happy to serve you when you come through their door. So grab the Paid to Save app from the Android Market or App Store and start saving big and exploring the world.
Welcome back. We are still here, and it's still Jennifer to the Rescue. And yes, we've got the right screen up there. Jennifer to the Rescue. I'm Jennifer Johnson. We're here in the beautiful Wofford Theater, and Logan Street Signs and Banners are our sponsor. And I actually forgot to say, I call myself a lyrical appreciation expert. And lyrical comes, I'm a musician, so it's a music word. I love it. But music has been part of my life, but just, helping people connect and celebrate, and cards and gifts. But also on these shows, I have this show and I have a Radio Next.TV on Thursday afternoons. I just like to help people like Barb connect with, you connect your information, and hopefully there's somebody out there that's listening that might, need your services. And we'll make sure, because we didn't go there before, but it is Barb at B. Kaiser at revlocal.com would be a good way to reach you.
It would.
It would be a great one. But we were talking about marketing, and you were, giving kind of your project management was the, but can you give us, there's so many different things about marketing.
There are.
And business marketing on Main Street. How's that? What kind of things can you share with us on that?
There is really so much that Main Street business owners can do to market their businesses right now. There are so many tools available on the internet that are anywhere from free to inexpensive that didn't exist even a few years ago.
Right.
Vistaprint is very successful and is very popular with the Main Street businesses. Their offerings are templated. Yes, you may have the same business card if you're a bakery as another bakery. That may happen, but it is a way to get tools that you can use to help market your business. And one of the examples, and I think we spoke about this earlier, I like to use is that from my experience of working in the casinos with extremely big budgets, extremely strategic plans, is that I can take some of the things that were successful on that level and scale them down to the Main Street business owner. So an example is a small hair salon that I happen to know on the south side. She was very smart with her POS system, and she's able to collect information on everyone who makes a purchase with her. So she has name, she has address, she has email. Very, very smart for any business owner. Make sure you get contact information for anyone who comes into your shop and does business with you. Obviously, they liked something about you or your shop or your product or your service, so they can become a repeat customer. So, going on with the salon, she had a list after her first year of 200 to 300 people that had come in one time and made one purchase. And we were talking about this one day, and I asked her, I said, have you thought about reaching back to those people and seeing if you can bring them in another time? And she said, I never really did. What can I do? And I suggested, why don't you put together a postcard, put an offer or a coupon on there that will, incent somebody to come in, so they're more likely to respond, and see what you can get back, because those are folks that have already done business with you. So you're more likely to get them back in your store than you are to educate new folks, and it's much more costly to educate new folks to get new customers in the door. So, try that. So she did. She used Vistaprint, and whenever she has an opportunity, she'll mail out 25 to 30 postcards with an offer.
I'll tell her about send out cards.
There you go.
Send
we need
out
to
cards
tell her
does
about
the
that.
same thing. But go ahead. That's the whole idea, though.
And it's great because she's getting, a 10% return, which is huge in marketing terms. If you get 1%, you're doing very, very well.
Right.
So to get 10% on people that have only been in one time, eventually you're going to turn some of these folks loyal for the long term, and that's how you grow your business.
Exactly. And I just would say in my mind, I did some research. One of the reasons I've gone the direction I am, I'm sales, but I was in insurance, but there's so much power in your people that have already done business with you.
Yes.
And if you're not tapping into it, you're making, and there was something like, most companies, and maybe Barb has some other, most companies spend something like 85 to 90% of their 95% of their budget or something is spent on acquiring new business, going out and doing when the truth is that about 80% to 90% or something of business usually comes from people who've already done business with you, and it's
Correct.
more so you're putting this gigantic amount of money and you're spending maybe 10%, 5% of your budget on those relationships that are already and I mean, depending on what industry, I'm not trying to, but depending on what industry, there's a lot of industries you spend a lot of money to get a customer.
Absolutely.
And if you have everybody, it's relative, I'm sure, to the. So it's just kind of funny that you say that, because it's called the referral paradox. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We're spending a lot of money to do something that really is not going to be as fruitful as if we would send those
Absolutely.
cards out to that girl.
Absolutely.
To the customers.
And, the second issue that we run into in this day and age is that there's so much what we call clutter out there. There is so much competition. Whereas, back in the day, it took between 3 and 7 what we call touches for someone to realize
Right.
who you were and what
Exactly,
you did.
the touches,
Now it
yes.
can take up 11 to 13. That gets very, very costly to put your business in enough places to be seen that many times for someone to realize who you are and what you do and entice them to do business with you. Very, very costly. So, as you and I are both aware, referrals are so important. Not only do you bring back those folks, but then ask them to bring a friend. Then ask them to bring a group. And, and eventually that expands out. And that's the whole point of
Exactly.
marketing, is to make that little circle of influence, those folks who have done business with you, grow at a faster speed than it would on its own or organically.
And really, it kind of comes down to price doesn't really matter as much as
Correct.
whether they feel valued
Value.
and they feel that there's some reason that, your neighbor, they do their insurance with this company. Why do they do that? Because we feel like we're getting whatever. It's just that hearing that somebody else is getting that value. I used to think it was always price, but it's really not price. People will do whatever. So you were saying about the warm market. I kind of got us off of what. Did you have another?
That's the number one example I use because it totally shows the scalability. Casinos live, eat, breathe, and sleep by direct mail. That's what keeps them running. So my experience in that was what I was able to take to her. That's the example I use, and show her how it could work for her business. She doesn't have to mass mail to 10,000 people around her salon. Just she has the database.
That's
market
awesome.
to those folks that are already there.
Because a lot of people do not do that. And if you get a business card these days from people, most of the time it'll just have an email on it.
Yes.
It will not have an address. Of
Yes.
course, I'm a send note card person, so I always am asking people for their address. And I've just gotten to the point where it's like, look, this is what I do. I want to be able to reach out to you. And if they don't like that, then I guess they won't give me the address. But what do you have any other little marketing tidbits? Because when we come back on our last segment, we're going to kind of dig into RevLocal a little bit, which you can obviously tell us about that. But you have another?
I do. You just mentioned email. MailChimp is a wonderful tool online. It's free, and it's a way for business owners to stay in front of folks, again, that have already done business with them. Email marketing, I always remind people it's an opt-in process, so you have to have that business relationship.
Right.
And you always have to offer the option to unsubscribe, so make sure that's on there.
MailChimp
You have
makes
to,
that you
have to play
yes,
fair.
you have to do it.
But it's a great way, and it's free. All it takes is your time. If you can put the time and energy into it, or if you're like some of us who have tech-savvy children that can put the time into it, put the kids to work putting the little email flyer together for you.
So these are the kind of things, though, if you contact Barb and you email her through bkaiser@revlocal.com, she can actually sit down with you, because this is the reason that I invited you here, because you helped me with some real, you helped me, and it didn't even, it was like, she sees it. She understands. Barb really understands what you're trying to do. And the fact that you helped me put it into perspective was really exciting to me.
That.
So we're going to come back, though. We haven't let her go yet. We're going to be back in just a short break, and I'm with Barb Kaiser of Rev Local. I'm Jennifer Johnson, Jennifer to the rescue, and see you soon.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
We are back again, and we're here with Barb. I am Jennifer Johnson, Jennifer to the rescue. We're here at the wonderful Wofford Theater, and Logan Street Signs and Banners are our wonderful sponsors. And we've just been I just keep getting all these ideas about marketing, and Barb Kaiser is my wonderful, beautiful guest today, and she is we were talking about marketing on Main Street. And we thought this would be a good time to kind of segue into marketing on the internet, which really then introduces Rev Local, right?
It does. I think most of us now carry around one of these little things every place we
Mine's
go.
amazing.
I know. It's become the yellow book of today. But, it's only been the last couple of years that they've really taken over, and we live our lives completely on our phones now.
Exactly.
So this is the year, Jennifer, believe it or not, when searches on mobile, meaning telephones, mobile phones, and pads, either iPads or other tablets, the number of searches is going to exceed the number of searches on desktops and laptops. Yes,
Really?
We are living through the transition, which for me as a marketer, it's very exciting because, we're living history right now. But as a business owner, I know it's very frustrating for a lot of business owners because they're trying to determine when and where to shift dollars and how much they should shift. So that's what Rev Local is all about. Rev Local is an internet marketing firm based in Columbus, Ohio. I'm very proud to be the first representative here in the Indianapolis area.
We're very happy to have you here on our show.
Well, thank you.
Cool.
But Rev Local has been doing internet marketing for over 20 years now. It's all we do.
So they are not new in this business.
We are not new. We are not a transition. Some of the companies that are in other media are trying to transition into digital. Digital is all we have done for the last 20 years. Our expert area is local search, which, as people are becoming aware, local search is the place you need your business to be. And that's the map and the push pins on the Google search results. That was implemented by Google in 2010. They finally decided that, okay, we have all of this local information. When people shop, they generally want to shop locally.
Sure.
So it's time to, really pay attention to that and serve that up in the search results. So Rev Local is actually ranked number 17 in the top best SEOs globally for what we do in local search, and we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
a
proud to
very
represent
good. Yeah,
RevLocal.
I'm going to write that down so I don't forget that.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So I brought a couple of slides to share with you, but today's search stats show that 97% of folks under the age of 18 are not qualified buyers. We come up with 1.35 million people. If we take the 97% of that population, 1.31 million people daily in the Indianapolis area are on the internet. They're searching in one form or another on the internet.
Wow.
That is a lot of people.
That is amazing.
So I'm going to transition there to the search results on the page. A lot of folks don't understand or realize what the local search is, but at the top in that little box that's highlighted, that's called your pay-per-click area. The middle area, that would be your organic listings. And then where the red push pin is, that's the map and the push pins that we talk about. Google will serve up what it finds relevant in the immediate geographic area to a searcher when they search. So when they're looking on their phones, when their GPS is enacted, etc. And that's why it's so important for business owners, especially Main Street, to pay attention. It's great because it levels the playing field now. Main Street businesses can have the same exposure as one of the big brands. Whereas when we were looking at print and radio and things that weren't affordable to Main Street, it wasn't a level playing field. Now it's level, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah.
So in the search results, though, you have to keep in mind that with your business, you're either going to show up on the first page or you're not going to show up on the first page. And let's face it, not a lot of folks scroll past the
Let's say
first
they
page.
look at the first page, and that's as far as they
Exactly. So you're either going to be here or you're going to be there. You're just not going to be seen. Yes.
go. Good slide there. Good.
Yes.
Good.
It kind of gets the impact across.
Yes, definitely.
So that's why I'm proud to represent RevLocal. Like we spoke about, we have 20 years experience. We work in the areas of local search, paid search, social media management, email marketing, blogging, and we build websites. And everything we do is custom and strategic to the client, and it's also affordable to the Main Street client. So, it's not something that people think, oh my gosh, internet, it's so far out of my reach, it's so far out of my budget. We have plans that fit almost every single budget. So,
Very cool.
the other things I'd like to mention is that RevLocal, we are on the Inc. 500 for the second year in a row now. One of the fastest growing private firms in America. We're a Google partner, we're a Bing partner, but I think the best thing that we have going for us is that our employees have voted us one of the best places to work in Central Ohio. So really cool culture, really cool group of people, very much cutting edge, very much now. And our whole goal is to take our message to Main Street and make sure that we can help folks get the visibility that they need so that their businesses can grow.
Awesome. I think that's, and you know what? We've been in a number of networking things, is what we've just, and every time I am like learning more about RevLocal, it's like, gosh, how can I steer? And this is a great way to do it, obviously, to be sharing it. And if people want to get in touch with you, again, it's bkaiser at revlocal.com. Overall, I mean, obviously, you have some other partners you work with, so when somebody comes to you and they sit down and they want to know, you just kind of listen, because what you did with me was we kind of went over what I did, and then you helped me put some thoughts down on paper,
Yes.
and then you suggested some things, and some things were maybe not in my reach right away, but you didn't. I mean, RevLocal is an option for people, but you had a lot of other, as I say, I have different things in my tool bag. You have a number of things. So if they contact you through that email, You are the only rep here in Indiana.
There is a second
Oh,
young
you
lady
did
now.
tell me that
Yes.
there was somebody, but
She moved into Carmel, yes.
okay, so there's a
There are
couple-
two of us.
It's starting to grow.
Yes.
And we're going to help. Hopefully, we're going to be able to help you spread the word about Rev Local. And but they need to contact you.
Yes.
I mean, really, sit down with you. You're so smart and you're so knowledgeable about what's going on. We will mention here real quick before we forget. This poster's been sitting here. Back to School Bash for Noblesville schools, students and families. And you know what? One thing I would say about Barb is she's not in Noblesville, but she is. You're responsible. You're kind of taking on
The
so-
entire greater Indy area.
So you
Yes.
have a big territory. So I mean, I don't know if she'll be at the Back to School Bash, but she'll be right there when you need her to meet with you. So, and I would just like to say that. We'll hopefully get you back as things, as it grows and everything. I've just been like, I call Barb all the time for different things. So you're a great resource.
Well, thank
and
you.
thank you for coming
Appreciate
today.
the opportunity.
Sure. And we're Jennifer to the rescue. And tomorrow I'll actually be on Radio Next .tv from noon to 2. And basically, I use that word all the time. Get Barb over there sometime soon. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week on Jennifer to the Rescue. Thank you.